Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Jenna Show. I have 18 books behind me that I would like to see adapted for the screen in one way or another. So I'm going to go through those 18 books and discuss how I would like to see them adapted for the screen. And I have differentiated between animated and live action, and then between series and movie, and what the books I'd like to see adapted in an animation style way. I've also differentiated slightly just between animation in general, or animated in general, and anime as in Japanese anime, because with most of the books that I've said I would like to see an animated movie or an animated TV show, I wouldn't necessarily mind the style of animation they used, just as long as it was animation. And then there are a couple of books that I would like to see as anime series, so I've differentiated when that comes up. I know I said there are 18 books. I will be discussing these books in groups. I will mention the titles of these books individually, but I will be discussing these books within groupings for the most part. And then I think there are around 3 books that are on their own. And one last thing before I continue with this video, I'm finally getting back into the groove of doing other content now that Anime Expo is over and the month of Anime Expo videos is now done. That was all of July. Now we're kind of getting back into other content that I like to post here to YouTube. The whole point of me revamping this account and this channel was so that I could just post whatever I wanted and at a schedule that worked for me. There will still be BookTube content, bookish related content, but I am hoping to diversify it a little bit more. I have a Cowboy Bebop reaction / reaction video coming up hopefully soon. Hopefully at this point I've scheduled it for publication and it'll go up sometime this month in August. And then I also have some other anime reactions, cinema reactions planned. I haven't gotten around to recording them yet, but they are planned. One other video idea that I have that I'm not sure if I will actually follow through with is the Renaissance Pleasure Fair. I will be attending the 21st of May. I'm not entirely sure if that's a video I will actually get around to doing, but if it is, I will link it down below in the description. And if it's not, I'll say so in the description. I do really want that video to be a thing. I do really want to record some of my time at the Renaissance Pleasure Fair. Hopefully I remember to. But with all that said, let's get into the point of this video. Here are some books I would like to see adapted for the screen and how. First up are Natasha Lester's books, and those are The Paris Seamstress, The Paris Orphan, The Paris Secrets, The Riviera House, and The 3 Lives of Alex St. Pierre. And there's a 6th book called The Disappearance of Astrid Picard coming out in January 2024. And I already know that I want Astrid Picard to have some sort of screen adaptation, and I would like to see these books as live action movies. Each book is their own movie and they're not necessarily sequels or prequels to each other, but when you have characters from previous books / previous movies, I would like to see the same actors make an appearance in other movies, because a lot of these books are interconnected in the sense of when they take place, World War II, and with the fashion industry, and a lot of times the characters are interconnected somehow. So I don't necessarily want this to be a series, just because these books are not a series in and of themselves. They're all standalones, and they're only connected in the sense that sometimes you see characters from one novel in another. Next up is the continuation of the Love and Trilogy by Jenna Welch. I don't think that's the right name for the trilogy, but that's the only one that makes sense. Love and Gelato, Love and Luck, and Love and Olives. And I say a continuation of the series because Love and Gelato has already been made into a movie, and I really loved Love and Gelato. I really loved the book, the movie, and I would love to see movies of Love and Luck and Love and Olives. And I would really love to have a continuation of the series, because if Netflix made the Love and Gelato movie, if Netflix handles movie renditions of Love and Luck and Love and Olives the way they handled Love and Gelato, I feel like it would be perfect. And these are such summary, feel-good, happy books. Happy in the sense that they make you feel good and the endings are happy, and the Love and Gelato movie is the same way that Love and Luck and Love and Olives could really hit that same mark if they do it well. The next book is Bravely by Maggie Stiefvater. This is a sequel to the Pixar movie Brave. At first, I thought it would be interesting to see Bravely as an animated movie and as a sequel to Brave, but then it kind of got me thinking about how Disney is doing a lot of these animated sequel shows, and Bravely would be a really fun show to do as a sequel to Brave. The next group of books I would like to see translated for the screen would be the Disney Twisted Tales series. I'm not going to name all of them, I'm just going to name the ones that are on my shelf specifically. The books that are on my shelf shelf are Mirror Mirror by Jen Kalanita, Go the Distance, also by Jen Kalanita, Almost There by Farah Rochon, and When You Wish Upon a Star by Elizabeth Lim. Side note, this is the only one on my shelf that I have not read, but I am pretty sure that I will like this one, if not love it. I've liked the other books by Elizabeth Lim that I've read, so fingers crossed I do enjoy this one. So the Disney Twisted Tales books, I think, would make a very good animated series. The whole series would be Disney Twisted Tales or Twisted Tales. You would have individual seasons of maybe 10 to 15 episodes, and each season would focus on a different book. But when I was thinking about how else you could adapt the Disney Twisted Tales book series, an animated TV series was the best way to go in my opinion, because a lot of these books have quite a bit going on in them that you would want something like a TV series. Again, you don't want it too long, 10 to 15 episode seasons, where you could kind of expand a little bit more, show certain aspects a little bit more. So an animated series was the best option in my mind for the Disney Twisted Tales books. Next up is the Six Crimson Cranes duology by Elizabeth Lim. And those books are Six Crimson Cranes and The Dragon's Promise. There's a third book called Her Radiant Curse, which is coming out in August. It is not part of the Six Crimson Cranes duology, but it is within that world, and it acts kind of as a prequel story to Six Crimson Cranes. But I'm not considering it part of the series. I'm considering Her Radiant Curse its own separate book, but at the same time I am considering it within this grouping of the Six Crimson Cranes, because I would recommend the Six Crimson Cranes duology to be an anime series, and I feel like Her Radiant Curse could fit in with the Six Crimson Cranes anime series really well as like flashback scenes, because again it is a prequel story to Six Crimson Cranes. I'm moving on to the last three books in this video. First up is Shadow of the Fox, and this would be another really amazing anime, just because again the imagery would really suit an anime over other animation styles and over live action. Next up is Kaikei by Vaishnavi Patel. I was kind of flip-flopping around as to what this could be, but I think this would work really well as an animated movie, maybe somewhat in the vein of anime style. It doesn't necessarily have to be anime, but this would work really well as a movie, and specifically an animated movie. And then last but not least is The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. This is another one where I was kind of flip-flopping. I knew I wanted it to be a movie, but I was kind of flip-flopping between live action and animation. And this is something that I feel like could work with either, but I personally think that it would work really well as a live action, especially with all the technology that we have today for making live action movies. You could use effects like Pepper's Ghost, which is something that the Haunted Mansion ride uses for the ballroom dance scene. I'll link a little description about Pepper's Ghost down in the description. They could use stuff like that. They could use simple technology like Pepper's Ghost to create the ghosts or ghostly figures, and there's so many other ways they could do that. Like the intrigue in this book and everything going on, I feel suits a live action movie more, but again, I really wouldn't care if it was live action or animated. That's the end of this video. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.